We're going to go right to our next guest. In an effort to stop the cannabis industry from selling merchandise and such, lawmakers proposed a piece of legislation that passed in the Senate and the House, but didn't get any further than that. This is like an episode of Ballers, where they try to where they don't let sports stars use, they don't let the player advertise the weed company. Joining us, my friend, your friend, Matt Gray, CEO of Herb. Matt, walk us through what's going on.
Yeah, so there's essentially this bill in California, SB 162, that was put forth to prevent cannabis branding on merchandise like hats, lighters and more. Essentially, this bill was shut down and is kind of a signal that the industry is kind of pushing back against this kind of stuff and wants to prevent the overuse and overregulation when it comes to advertising on various products and merchandise.
Matt, let's talk politics here. In terms of this legislation, are you surprised that it's a Democrat who's pushing it? Because it hasn't been Republicans who've really been against cannabis legalization in the cannabis industry throughout the country.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think both sides are just trying to ensure that these new laws accurately reflect, a safe and open environment for cannabis out there. And whether it's Democrats or Republicans, these people are just trying to make sure that, the regulations are safe, they keep it out of the hands of children and teens, and I think that was the intention here. I just think it was a little bit far-reaching. There's enough regulations for dispensaries and cannabis brands already, and I think that, this one was kind of put in check.
I am an unabashed pro-cannabis person. Everybody knows that. My wife is working on a cannabis cookie idea. Matt's actually helping us out a little bit.
Really?
But I gotta say, Matt, I kind of believe in this regulation. I don't want my kids wearing cannabis, just like I wouldn't want my kids wearing alcohol clothing to school. I think alcohol and cannabis, I put on parity. I'm sure you would probably say alcohol is far worse, and we could argue that. But I kind of think there's a point to this regulation, to be honest with you.
I think the intention behind it is pure and good. I just think that there are already enough regulations around, branding and marketing of cannabis-based brands and more, and that, there's enough safe measures out there to ensure that, the marketing that's being done isn't being advertised to children, and is being advertised in a responsible manner. And I think this is just a bit far-reaching.
No, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's a private sector thing. Maybe it's public schools should ban the wearing of cannabis apparel. Maybe there should be regulation around cannabis advertising within 100 yards of a school. Maybe that's. But an adult should be able to wear whatever they want to wear.
I mean, remember, this makes me think of like Joe Camel and the way that cigarettes were marketed to me when I was a kid, and the way that, you weren't allowed to, just at school, you weren't allowed to wear like a Joe Camel t-shirt, but nowadays you're not even allowed to have cigarette advertising there. There was a huge issue with NASCAR, when we were growing up, about advertising there. I mean, do you think the free market could actually take care of this?
Yeah, I think one important consideration here too, right, is that, alcohol and cigarettes are responsible for like hundreds of thousands of deaths a year. Cannabis is a lot different than that. It's a medicine, and it's a therapeutic plant, and I think it should be treated as such. So I don't think the regulations should fall right in line with how we're currently dealing with things like tobacco or alcohol. And I think it's a lot different that way.
Okay, Matt, we can't let you go without talking about drone delivery, because that's an issue that's up in the air, pun intended, as well. What is the status of drone delivery of marijuana right now in California?
Yeah, so California just deemed drone delivery illegal for the time being. I think at the end of the day, this is inevitable. Companies like Amazon and weed delivery companies like Ease, I believe, will eventually be into this, and it's just a matter of time, until the regulations kind of catch up with the amount of innovation that's going on in this specific sector.
Matt, have we discussed the toast slice product? Have we discussed that before, you and I?
I don't think so.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so there's this company, guys, see if you can pull it up on the screen. I got it in Aspen. It's packaged like a thing of cigarettes. They're machine-rolled cannabis cigarettes, right? And it's the most elegant package. And there's a big debate in the community. A lot of people feel like we've moved completely to vaping, and the lighting, the burning of anything is inherently unhealthy. But I think that's a killer product. I mean, you don't know? I'll pull it up on my. See if you pull up toast slices, marijuana.
All right, let's see if I can pull this up.
I mean, at the end of the day, we've kind of talked about this a bit, John. I think there's a lot of different products that appeal to various kind of consumers out there. You have people that are more health-oriented, looking for vaporizers, and you're going to have people that are, looking for something to enjoy while snowboarding down the hills in Aspen. And I think this is a great product.
Go there.
It's something that needs to exist.
Guys, do you have Tim's screen here? Matt, this is it, okay? These toasts, look at these things, okay? And to your point, you can take these out, and they're super convenient. It's as convenient as a cigarette. Not that I would, obviously cigarette causes cancer. This doesn't cause cancer. I mean, see this? What do you think of this?
Yeah, it's a great product. Yeah, it looks like a great product. That's something that I think is great for, you're on the go, you're, snowboarding, skiing, whatever you're doing there in Colorado, and it seems like a great product. You can just kind of slip into your jacket and have a great day.
Okay.
Not snowboarding and skiing, though. That's not allowed. Well,
you know what, Tim?
Come on.
You go to Aspen, people are downing half a bottle of rosé at bar 9.
Silver Peak Apothecary. I mean, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Matt Gray, CEO of Herb.